And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Jon the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, hello to everyone, and I am sorry that the Punk is putting spit into his hair right there. That was disgusting. But we are here with the Weighing In podcast, and we got a lot to talk about. We had UFC 285 and the return of a Mr. Jon Jones. We also had some great fights going on throughout. We had Alexa Grasso shocking the world and pulling off a huge win, upset win, I'll say, against Valentina Shevchenko, taking the title, becoming the flyweight champion. That's a great shakeup in that division. My man, you got Tree Crew Industries. You're cutting trees. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm not sure the words trees mean what you think they mean. Oh, man. What a shocking night. There was some good stuff. There was some nights some fights that we thought were going to go the way it were, and some that just I don't think the world expected to see.
Hello.
But it was a good night of fights. I was pretty impressed. I mean, everyone should expect a good score from Josh Thompson today on the overall. I think it was a good night. John, as much as I want to talk,
you're speechless.
You're
speechless.
I am.
My God.
Which is
everyone.
very rare.
I want everyone to just recognize this moment and take it in because this is special.
It's 4 a.m, John, and we're filming this podcast to make sure it gets out on time for the rest of our fans. So,
all right, there you go.
We are dedicated, and you've got to leave today, right? Where are you going today, by the way?
My mom's dying, so I got to go up and see her into Portland, Oregon. So it's all right. This is life. This is what happens.
I was just visiting my grandmother up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And it's just like,
yeah, I know.
It's just, I know it's going to get us all, but it's just one of those things.
I'm figuring out ways to avoid it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I think it can happen.
I'm
That's
sorry,
all right.
brother. It's not easy. I know. I mean, I didn't want to talk too much. It is. It's one of those things. It just like my grandmother and I were really close. Both my grandmothers and I, that was pretty much raised by both of them. You know, Dad was a workaholic, so Dad was always working. Grandma's kind of raised me. So, and then she's my last one. So it's kind of it's like one of those things. Nah,
yeah, no,
super frustrating. But Portland, Oregon, huh?
Yeah. Well, no. Hold on. I have to go fly into Portland, Oregon. Mm-hmm. Might go and say hello to the American gangster. Then they're in West. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I have to drive to the coast because she lives out on. I want to say Seaside.
I know where Seaside is. Yeah,
you know where Seaside's at?
Yep, I do. Yeah. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah. Wow. Seaside.
Seaside's gray nice. Most of the time.
Yeah, you got Lincoln, Seaside. They're all up kind of along that coast there. Yeah, you're probably about, I'd say, 40 minutes away from the airport, right?
Yeah, about an hour and
about 40. Okay. I haven't been there since 96.
Yeah, it's all right.
Last time I was at Seaside was in 96.
Oh,
Dave, were you born yet, Dave?
Yeah, I 96, Dave?
Yeah, you were. Okay. I just wanted to know. Oh, man. Jeez. I could be Dave's daddy. It was like...
I could definitely be Dave's daddy.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't be a very good one?
Oh, dude, trust me, you would not have the mouth that you have on you right now.
Exactly.
I'd have whooped that ass.
Oh, jeez. Luke Rockhold tells this story, right? His dad's a big guy. And Luke tells this story about he got spanked as a kid or something like that one time. And his brother, I don't know if you know, his brother was a professional surfer, a really good one.
Yep.
And Luke, he can surf, he can skate, he does all the things, but Luke had said something to his dad. And before he could turn and run away, his dad reached around and fucking went to swat him, and Luke tried to run away at the same time. And when he went to run away, he went to take a big step. And his dad's a big guy. His dad's got a huge hand. He's it basically covered his whole ass. But what happened was because he stepped away, his 2 fingers wrapped around and fucking hit his balls. And he goes, for like for like 4 or 5 days, his fucking balls were swollen. Like it's like they just hit him in the right spot. The fingers wrapped around. Oh man, he's so funny, man. Rockhold's one of those guys. He comes out with some of these fucking stories, man. He's hilarious about like when he was a kid. Oh, it was just so funny. You see his dad, and his dad's I think like 6'4", 6'5", something like that, but a big guy. So it's hilarious, man. I just can't. Every time I think of someone getting spanked, you know, for some reason,
that's called a reverse spank.
Yeah,
that's a bad thing.
That just pops up in my head. I mean, can you imagine? All right. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get into some of these fights, right, Dave?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, my man. Let's do it. So go ahead, John.
I don't know if we should talk about this first one. It was really very fast. It wasn't very good. No. The return of Jon Jones against Cyril Gane. Josh, this wasn't exactly like we said. I said if it hits the ground, he ain't going to get up, and it's going to be over because there's just a huge wrestling difference. And it was proven, you know, and as soon as Jon came out pressing hard, and you could see that he was walking him down, it told you everything, because Gane's in that position where he's elusive on the feet, he moves very well, all of that good stuff, but just the pressure from Jon told you, I know how to beat you. I'm not going to sit there and lay back and let you move around me and decide where these engagements are going to take place. I'm going to create the engagements. I'm going to create what's going to happen here, and you're going to have to respond, and you better respond the right way. And look, it is what it is. It's tough when you're facing a guy that can fight at any range and fight well and is smart in their planning, smart in their attacks, and executes, you know, what they're supposed to do. That's why, you know, there's no doubt he puts himself in that position of, and we've always said he's the greatest fighter of all time. Is he the greatest of all time? Well, you can take a look at everything that goes along with that. But the dude can fight, man. He is so good.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever doubted his abilities. I think his outside stuff has gotten in the way, you know.
A little bit.
It interfered with his likability, and people will hold that against him, and
he's got that Jekyll and Hyde personality, though, because there's times he can be so endearing and so
absolutely,
he's kind to people and does things, and then there's that time he pulls out he's the perfect, podcast Dave guy. He likes the wrestling heel, man. He likes being the dude who's just a smart ass.
But he can fight. Podcast Dave can't fight.
I'm not comparing Jon and Podcast Dave in the fighting realm.
No.
I'm talking about the guys that like to push buttons and stuff.
You know, John, there's so many things that I guess I would like to do like a really big deep dive on considering him the GOAT. But I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say like, oh, you're just... It doesn't matter what they're going to say. I don't even care what they say anymore. It just, even if it wasn't Jon, let's just say it was Dan Henderson, or say it was Randy Couture, or say it was somebody like that. Okay. I would still feel the same way. And you and I have had these conversations.
Yeah.
Is that, yes, I can say he's the GOAT, but I look at guys in the 170 pound, 155, 145, 135. DJ's in like one of there wasn't a talent level. He falls kind of into the same as Anderson Silva, 205, and even moving up to heavyweight. There's a lack of options in top quality of fighters. Now everyone's like, well, Jon Jones fought Shogun Rua. I said, yeah, he fought good guys, but they were also kind of I wouldn't say they're towards the end, but they definitely weren't in their prime. Shogun had a lot of miles on him before he even got to the UFC. That's true. And I'm gonna be very honest about this. They came over from Pride, and it said in our contracts when we fought there, we do not test for steroids. It said that
in Pride.
Yeah, in
Pride said that. Yes.
Yes, in Pride. And you saw the drop off in the abilities of the Pride fighters right when they came. Not all.
Well,
not all.
It wasn't. But it
Like
wasn't.
I don't think Quentin Jackson ever took. I don't think he ever did. You look at Quentin. I don't think he ever needed to. The guy was fucking just beasting everywhere. It didn't matter. Yeah, I don't think Quentin ever did. But there's some fighters. You just saw them drop off. And I look at the level of competition. Those guys at 185, they're not as well rounded as the ones at 170, 155, 145, 135.
There you go, going back to it.
I have
going
to.
back.
I have to.
Okay, go ahead.
I have to go. I have to go to the fact that, look, Shogun Rua, he wasn't a great grappler. He had great kickboxing, good takedown defense, and good ground and pound. A lot of that was from pride, though. When he got to the UFC, it was more of a stand-up fighter and kind of, he had a good short stint of a run. Dave, pull up Jon Jones's record, please.
Where do you want to start?
Where?
Yeah. I get it. Calm down, guys. Calm down.
Well, no, seriously. I mean, you can start and say, you can do it. Start with his UFC record if you want, but take a look at the names that are on that list. This is where, when you're sitting there saying, and this is, DJ. I think DJ's skill set is one of the greatest skill sets I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
On an MMA fighter. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But the level of competition that he was able to compete against never met his status, to a point. Dominic Cruz, Dominic beat him. He had to go up and wait for that and stuff. And there's a couple in there, but overall you look and you go, all right, he's got the win against Henry Cejudo, and he looked fantastic in doing it. The body shots were just unbelievable. But he just didn't have that, basically a plethora of, look at the names. Okay, so if we take a look at the names, his second fight in there was Stephan Bonnar, right? And this is when people didn't really know who Jon was. And it was not only the way he beat Stephan Bonnar, it was the things he did in that fight. If you remember that spinning elbow attack that basically hit, Stephan tried to step into it, which made him hit kind of towards the back of it, but just flopped him to the ground and just manhandled him. And we know that, Stephan wasn't the greatest fighter in the world, but goddamn, he could fight, and he was tough as hell.
He was tough.
Then you look, the whole Matt Hamill thing, and, that's the one mark on his record, and we've kind of gone over it, but Matt Hamill was known for his wrestling.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that Matt Hamill could wrestle. And how did Jon, hurt him? He hurt him by picking him up and dropping him to the mat and dislocating his shoulder. He out-wrestled Matt Hamill. Brandon Vera at the time was this, guy that everyone thought he was talking about winning 2 divisions and all this stuff, but we did know that Brandon, in the striking, his kicks and everything, man, he could fight, man. He could hurt people. And he went on and, had a great career in other places. Vladimir Matyushenko, how good of a wrestler was the janitor?
Fantastic.
Okay, we're talking world class at one time. Okay? Manhandled him like it was nothing, right? Ryan Baders had an unbelievable career, but Jon walked through him. Then he gets the title shot. And I think he was 23 years old when he got that, 23, 24.
Yeah.
Josh, think about when you were 23, 24.
Yeah.
And just your mindset and things.
Yeah.
And this is part of what Jon's problem's been, because these things came when he was very young. And it's hard to handle the things that are coming with being the champion and stuff if you're not, super mature. But, he then beats Quentin. And the one thing I love about Quentin is Quentin's always honest about it. So he does not like Jon, but says he's dirty, but says, I was never so prepared for a fight in my life. I knew I was going to beat him. And he goes, he just dominated me. Lyoto Machida, that fight. Lyoto won that first round. We talked about that before. Lyoto was actually doing well. Jon changes it, takes over, and says, nope. And puts him out with the choke. Rashad Evans is a great fighter. All these guys. It's a who's who. If you're taking a look and saying champions, he's got a ton of champions that he beat. And yes, Shogun Rua was not the same fighter, in the UFC that he was in Pride. He was not as exciting. He just wasn't the same, didn't have the same capabilities. But he was the champion when Jon beat him.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it.
You can't take anything away.
I'm not.
Okay, and let's talk about grappling ability. How good of a grappler is Jon Jones? You're going to tell me that there's any lightweight that grapples better? You're going to tell me if there's any welterweight? Because there's a guy that you know really well in Daniel Cormier. He's a pretty goddamn good grappler.
Good wrestler.
Okay? Good wrestler. John manhandled him.
Yeah, not a good grappler.
I know what you're saying is the difference. But John is a good grappler.
No, I get
He's got submissions.
I get it. Look, like I said, fantastic wrestler. He showed that against DC and other fighters he's fought, from Matt Hamill to other fighters he's fought. He showed he's a fantastic jiu-jitsu guy. I think that's what's going to set him apart from every other heavyweight he fights. None of those heavyweights have jiu-jitsu. None of them. The only one that ever had jiu-jitsu in the heavyweight division was Verdum. Fabricio Verdum. And then Nogueiras. But as they got older, the jiu-jitsu was not like it was when they were in Pride.
No.
It just wasn't. They became stand-up guys. Whether it was because of their backs, whether it was because of their shoulders, whatever it was, just on the mat is a lot of injuries, and it affected their performances. Ryan Bader, like, good wrestler, not a great wrestler, but good wrestler. Fantastic, But in the heavyweight division, that definitely helps. And you saw like last night, pretty much with John. Once he gets you down, just sags on you, hangs on you, controls the positioning. I mean, he's phenomenal. There's no doubt about it, John. I'm not talking about, like, that's what I'm saying. I can't say he's not a good fighter. I'm not saying that. Can't say he's not probably one of the most, if not the most skilled person ever in the cage. I'm not saying fight IQ. Someone tried to say the other day, I was trying to remember who it was. I think it was Chael. Said that he doesn't have Anthony Smith said he doesn't have a really great fight IQ. It's okay.
He's fucking nuts.
And I'm like, his fight IQ is pretty spectacular.
God damn.
Yeah. And so it was an interview, I think, on Morning Combat I was watching, and Anthony Smith said, "No, I'm going to get murdered for this, but he's not that good." I'm like, "Oh no, he is." "Oh no, he is." And he's like, "Yeah, his fight IQ is just okay." And I'm like, "Oh no, he actually, that's what sets him apart from everyone, is that his fight IQ is fantastic." Yeah. Now, look, it could be the other way. I could say his fight IQ is horrible if he was trying to fight at everyone else's strengths and wasn't winning. But he's fighting everyone else's strengths and winning. And so he had some problems along the way, like the Gus thing. He tried to keep it on the feet quite a bit, and the Gus was prepared for the occasional takedown, and that backfired a little bit.
Yeah.
And, but it ended up being a close fight. He still got the win. And that's the most important thing, is that fighters at his level, when they're not feeling it or having a bad night or it's not going their way like they normally are used to, is that they still get the W. And that's what sets world class or GOAT talk, or that's what sets those fighters away from everybody else. Right. Is they can still manage to get the win no matter the circumstances while they're in there making adjustments. I look at, like I said, the fights. Shogun wasn't the same guy that he was in Pride. Never really had a top level grappling. Quentin Jackson, mainly stand up, big slams, that type of stuff. Not a jiu-jitsu guy at all. We know that.
No.
Lyoto Machida, not a jiu-jitsu guy. People can say he is. I'm sorry. I've grappled with him. I've trained with him. He's not.
Look, he's not. I understand.
Yeah.
He's not a great jiu-jitsu, but he's got good defense. Yeah, it's striking on the ground that gives him more problems than anything.
Yeah,
submission attempts.
But I'm saying, his submission game is not. Can you scroll up a little bit more? So you have Rashad.
Super
phenomenal wrestler, good strike. He at that time, at that level, he was a fantastic striker, very good striker.
Yeah.
His wrestling and striking kind of work together. Jiu-jitsu, Gus shocked the world.
No, Vitor.
Oh, sorry, Vitor. Vitor almost tapped him with the armbar, right? Then he got out, and then the size and the abilities of him to control the top position.
And he tapped Vitor.
Yeah, so the size, I get it. Vitor's good. But we look back now at Vitor's grappling game. That was the only time he ever really got close to a submission.
Well, I'm not.
No,
I'm
in his fighting,
about that. You're right.
In his fighting career, like he had some. He had some earlier in his.
That's because he had this thing called power and fast hands.
Yes,
it was pretty simple.
Chael. I think just Chael was too small. John's just a big guy, and
that was a throw together fight.
Yeah, did you see Chael's his response? He says, "Man, I had more juice running through me than the Tropicana." When I fought Jon Jones, I started laughing. Glover Teixeira, fantastic fighter, good on the ground. I would say he's probably the most well-rounded guy that I think Jon ever fought. Good striker, great jiu-jitsu, good wrestling. Like, he's probably, if I go through this list of all the fighters, he is probably the most well-rounded fighter that he fought.
He's one of them.
Yeah,
good
I mean,
wrestling, you're right.
You know, good wrestling. He had good boxing, good kickboxing. He put it together really well. We're finding out now later on in life that his grappling is next level when it comes to the 205-pound division. But I think a little bit of this is too is that at 205, they're weak in the grappling a little bit. Some of them are weak in the wrestling. There's fantastic wrestlers on here, but then if they're good in wrestling, they're not fantastic in the jiu-jitsu department, and that's where Glover set himself apart. That's why he at 40. How old is he? 44 now.
But again,
Glover?
Take a look at that list that we're looking at. This is the whole point. If you take a look at from, let's say from when he won the title against, Hua, and you look at it, the weakest fight that he had, if you're going to say weak, as far as opponent, would have been Chael, because Chael was, a blown up 185er. That would have been a guy that never really fought at 205 much, and then, later on in his career did. But
I would have said OSP, but
no, that's after. That's after fucking Chael. And if you're going to be honest, OSP, he was a natural light heavyweight, a lot of skills as far as everything, and he went the distance with him.
He was big.
You just look and you go, man, everybody on that list really had a name and was someone that you go, he's a good fighter. Now, do some of them have holes in their game? Sure. How many fighters don't? Yeah.
But see, that's the difference, though, John, is I'm not allowing the name value to get in the way. Like,
you're not allowed to. It's as simple as this. If you really look and you're honest about this, George St. Pierre is probably considered the guy that's the best. And part of this is getting out at the right time, not taking fights, well into your, 40s now, and you're just, trying to hang on and stuff like that. Anderson was great at one time, but you can't put Anderson as the greatest. And I love the guy, man. He's a friend of mine, but based upon everything that, towards the end of his career, no, too many losses, too many things happening. Okay. You take a look at what Jon's done, and I would say that George St. Pierre is the closest one, but he's got 2 losses, Josh, and they were fucking losses.
Yeah.
He tapped out to Matt Hughes when Matt put a fucking straight armbar, and he did it,
it wasn't even on yet.
Yeah, 1 second left in the damn round.
Yeah.
And he was tapping. And then he had the fight against Matt Serra that I don't think he took. I can tell you that in the back, he was not prepared to fight. He had problems with management. He was not happy.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of things happening. Okay. But these are the things that we're talking about as when you're the champ, you find ways to win in those situations. And Jon has.
Yep.
And you look and you go, hey, as good as George was, Jon, by winning that heavyweight championship belt, he just cemented himself as the greatest MMA fighter there is.
Well, you could also take, like, for me, you said with the Matt Hughes GSP fight, with 1 second left, he's tapping before the arm is even straight.
Okay.
He's tapping the air. That, if I look at, like, when Jon Jones fought Chael Sonnen, his toe was basically ripped off. And he finished the round, and luckily he did, because at the end of that, the doctor probably would have stopped it. Yeah, he finished the fight, because the doctor probably would have stopped the fight.
Yeah.
And his toe was hanging out this way, and I think it was, the bone was protruding out.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. And you could see he was visibly sick, because when he was doing the interview, he didn't even realize it. He looked down, he's like, oh shit. You could see he was like, oh, whoa. He got almost like a little lightheaded.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah. He's like, oh shit. Look, I'm not taking away from his, what he's accomplished, his accolades. I just think if I'm comparing divisions, is what I say. 185, 205 and heavyweight, They're not as well-rounded. You're not getting the cream of the crop in terms of athleticism. That's why Jon stands out so much. There was a lot of talk last night about, he's gone for 3 years, comes back. And how long was GSP gone?
When he fought Bisping for the middleweight?
About 3 years, right?
I want to say almost a little bit more.
Yeah. So he comes back and he beats Bisping. He also beat the champion. He didn't beat the number one contender. And I know I'm splitting straws here, but it's like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
There's no doubt.
And but if I go through GSP's, go back to GSP. Yeah, scroll on down. Almost all these guys were extremely well-rounded. You know, BJ Penn, he fought, I believe, twice. Thiago Alves.
Come on. See, now you're going to go into well-rounded.
No, look, I'm saying you're looking at guys that you're fighting. If you know that there's areas that you can, a lot of these guys that Carlos Condit, fantastic jiu-jitsu, great striker, good wrestling, could attack you anywhere. Nick didn't have good wrestling, had good jiu-jitsu, had some good boxing.
Good jiu-jitsu.
Jake Shields, no striking.
Josh Koscheck, good wrestling, no submissions.
Yeah, no submissions. He was okay, but not. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
not something that he was chasing after. Johnny Hendricks, great wrestling, big power, no submissions. You scroll on down. BJ was pretty much kind of the most well-rounded guy I think that he fought. Matt Serra, good jiu-jitsu, good boxing. Yep. Scroll on down. Matt Hughes, BJ Penn, Sean Shirk. Sean, good wrestling. Matt Hughes, good wrestling. Really no striking from either one. Just decent. Frank Trigg, wrestling, some good boxing. I think Frank was a good boxer. And Jason Miller, just weird. Jason Miller was good jiu-jitsu, weird stand-up, just a weird fighter. But he was good. Strasser, I was there. We fought on that same card, I think, on the Strasser fight. The Matt Hughes, the Lost, Jay Heron, Carl Parisian, I get
Jay
it.
Heron lost again yesterday.
I saw that. Man, Jay just can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break anyway.
I'm so happy.
And he was the champ.
I'm so happy for that guy.
Such a good man. Such a good man. Has made a hell of a living, being a great stunt man, doing good work. I see him all the time, and I was like, "What are you doing now?" And he'll tell me and stuff, but then I'll say, "Dude, you died like a bitch in that." I just want you to know.
He's. When I went over to Extreme, sorry, we're getting off topic here, but I went over to Extreme Couture because I was thinking about leaving AKA for a bit. Yeah. And at the time I went to go visit, there was Tyson Griffin, Gray Maynard, Jay Heron, fucking
Mike Pyle.
Yeah, Mike Pyle, Chris Horodecki, the other one, Mark Hominick, Sam Stout. They had fucking murderers row in there in my weight class. And then you go to, like at AK, they had no lightweights. I was the only one. I was the only one. And then I had to train with all the guys that were bigger, so I'm kind of helped out a little bit. Man, they had murderers row in the thing. But Jay Heron, I remember the first time I sparred with him, he was not nice. He was not nice. He just had that personality of like, nah, man, that's mine. Whatever it is you're trying to get from me, that's mine. I'm like, damn, bro. But then I think like it was like a couple days after me training there for a little bit, I finally kind of broke the armor, and he started being nice. I was like, bro, I'm not even in the same organization as you. Like, why are you mean to me? Why are you being mean to me right now? But back to like, I'm not trying to say I'm in that. I'm not trying to say he's not the GOAT. I'm not trying to say that. Look, I'll leave that decision up to everybody else. And he's got a very, very strong case for this. Obviously, I'm not denying that. And I'm going to be, if I say it at the top, who are the top two? I'm going to say Jon and GSP. That's it.
Yeah.
I think everybody else is a distant second. So however you want to place them, one or two, that's on you. I'm not too concerned about that. But I've said that. I said this with Anderson Silva, so don't think because it's Jon and any other reason. I said this with Anderson Silva a long time ago. It's a weak division. 185 is the weakest division in the whole sport, outside of probably 125 because 125 doesn't have a ton of fighters there. And DJ made it look easy, and there's a reason why he made it look easy. DJ is extremely talented. There's no doubt. But I look at the DJ situation also. When you don't have the opportunity to fight, I guess well-rounded, you can't say he didn't fight top guys. He did.
No, he fought everybody he could.
He fought everybody he could. He did. Jon did. DJ the same thing. DJ fought everyone he possibly could get his hands on. DJ didn't challenge himself so much to go up to the 135, and when he did fight at Dom, he lost, and so he stayed at the 125 pound division. I would have liked to have seen him go up at 135, again, and try to make a little bit of a run there, especially as he got so good. He's not a big guy. He's tiny. God. He's tiny.
Yes, I mean it's. Come on, Josh. You can look and there's times you'll look at bantamweights. God damn, I can't believe you get to 135.
Yeah,
you're not a small human being. I mean, you're not huge, but goddamn, you're not small. And you look every time I was around DJ, I was like, you're just a small guy.
Yeah, nothing you can do.
Just a man. And so I don't blame him for staying at the 125s. He needed to. That was his weight class.
But yet then he goes to 1 and fights guys that are 150. That sounds smart. Like I said,
getting paid.
Yeah, that's true. He is. But you can put Jon wherever you guys want. 1, or you guys can put him 2, or you can put him, however you want to mix it up. Put GSP 1 or put him 2. And they pretty much had very similar, not career paths, but they both stepped away for 3 years around that, 3, maybe 4, whatever it was for GSP, and then comes back and wins the title. There was so much made of this whole gone for 3 years and comes back and has a great performance. Yeah, he didn't fight the best guy at the time at the weight class, whether it was Francis or not. And I know that was that wasn't him. He had nothing to do with that. He fought the best guy that could be put in front of him last night.
Yeah.
I think where, and I said this 2 months ago, the toughest fight for him in that division is Curtis Blades.
Yep.
All the other ones, I can't really, I really don't even know. All the other ones
he's going to be fighting Stipe next now.
That'll be a tough fight.
Yeah, it's not.
Stipe's 39 years old, 40, I think, probably
that's
40 by
problem.
now. And that's the other thing.
Exactly. That's the whole thing.
And so when I get in, like I said, I get into these conversations with you, with everybody and other people anyone that will listen to me. And I say that the divisions at 185, 205, and heavyweight, and even 125 is part of that. They're not as difficult to become. It's not as difficult to become champion. Which I don't want to get killed for saying that.
But hold on, how difficult? I'm devil's advocate here. How difficult is it to fight nothing but championship fights and win those fights?
Extremely.
All those years.
Extremely difficult. You saw it towards the latter end of his career with Dominic Cruz,
Thiago Santos.
It's like guys that normally he would have just
Anthony Smith
destroyed. And he just
because you can't get up.
Yeah,
it's tough.
That's probably why he was taking pills.
I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid, but I'm just not finding any motivation here. And you look and you go, hey, he found motivation in this, and you could see it, man. Just the way he came out and attacked. As soon as he came out, he got kicked in the nuts. And he got kicked in the nuts. Good. And that was like a welcome back, Jon.
Yeah.
But he set that aside, and as soon as that fight started from that point, man, he just you could see it, Josh. You could see the way he was hunting Cyril Gane. And you look and you go, they're just different levels.
Yeah.
And we said it before. I mean, nothing against Cyril Gane. I think he is a really good fighter, and he's fun to watch, and I enjoy watching him. I just looked and thought, there's too many holes. Mm-hmm. And when you have those, it's not that he can't win. He could win. I'm not going to sit there and say he couldn't. But you're looking at such small opportunities to happen to give him that opportunity to land that perfect shot that's going to put him in that situation. I just didn't see it happen. But
Dave, can you pull up the heavyweight division? Yeah, when you're go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm just there for you. There you go.
Yeah, so
they don't even have his damn picture up yet. It's been that long.
I mean, you've got Stipe, but Stipe is 40, maybe 41, I think, by now. Sergey's a big guy, but the wrestling's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's his biggest problem in that fight.
And off of his back, and then I look at, Tom Aspinall's not ready for him yet, maybe down the line, but
Yeah,
Who
down the
knows?
line.
You got any of the other guys there. None of them can wrestle. None.
Spivak can.
Not great.
I didn't say great, but he
Yeah.
can wrestle, and he's got good judo.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good base. Curtis Blades is the guy. If you're looking at it, I think that his wrestling separates him in taking on Jon. But you can take a look at that list, and you go, "There's just not a lot that have the ability to give him a problem."
Yeah, I don't know who. I would, I look at guys maybe in the 205-pound division, like Ankalaev maybe would have given him a little bit of a fit, but it's hard to say because if you look at the fight he had with Jon, I think Jon destroys Jon. Styles make matchups, and I get it, and it's
they do,
but Jon is just so much athletically superior than all of these fighters, and so maybe that's why it's hard for me to put my finger on. Do you call him the GOAT? Do you not? Do I use the weight classes as like sure he fought big names, but they weren't at the peak of where we had seen them before.
Some of them were. You can't say all of them, but God damn it, Josh, when he fought Lyoto Machida, tell me Lyoto Machida wasn't near the top.
No, he was at the top.
Okay.
He was at the top for sure.
I mean, and so you look and you go, all these guys, it's like, what? I've said it before. I think DJ has one of the greatest skill sets I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Jon is right there with him and has fought way better competition overall.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't even consider DJ in the conversation for the GOAT. I consider
which is
him
unfortunate because he's that good.
No, he is. I look at it. I look at that. I'm like, damn. I mean, let me ask you this: do you put Cyborg in any of this? Because I feel like she's had a lack of competition as well.
I think that's the biggest problem. If you take a look, I wish we could put side by side and show the people that Jon Jones fought, and then the names of who Chris Cyborg fought. Because in Chris, you're taking a look. She's got several names in there that you can look and say that's a good name. Mm-hmm. She has 2 wins against Marloche, and in that, that I thought, Marloche was a trendsetter in women's MMA. She started things off and, really helped build it. Never got the recognition she deserved.
No, she never did.
But Marloche was a good fighter. But, Chris got 2 wins against her. But then you can take a look at, a lot of them. She's got a win against Holly Holm. That's nice. But especially earlier than where she had her fights in the UFC, she got the Gina Carano win, but Gina was,
very
let's be honest,
one-dimensional.
Very one-dimensional. And had a total of what, maybe 8-9 fights at the time that she fought Cyborg. Cyborg didn't have a lot of fights either, but man, when you take a look at the names, put it towards the bottom of Cyborg's. Go early. There you go. Okay, stop right there. That's fine. So when you look at it, Vanessa Porto, who we all know, she's been fighting forever. She got a win against Chris Schroeder, Santiago de Lima, Victoria. She got the win against Shayna Baszler. Shayna wasn't a bad fighter, but Takahashi, Akano. She wins against Carano. There's Marloche, Jan Finney. Come on. That's the problem.
Old names, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, it's not the same.
No, that's true. Mm-hmm. I just look at, then maybe we put her in the same category as DJ.
I would.
Yeah.
I would put her in that.
Because there's not a big enough talent pool. And I think that's where I'm getting the big enough talent pool, and it's hard for me to say that because if you look at Jon, right, he's fought Machida, Vitor Belfort, guys that are legends in the sport. So the name recognition is there. And I guess for me, maybe I'm penalizing Jon because he makes it look so easy. And because of his athletic attributes, because of his skill set, he's the guy that actually went to jiu-jitsu class and just wasn't given a black belt for no reason. Yeah. Like he's a guy that has black belt level, jiu-jitsu. He's got great wrestling. He's evolved as one of the most dynamic strikers in the game. All of those things, I put him right up there. He is, like I said, you can put him interchangeably anywhere you want at 1 or 2, or or he can be number 2 and GSP number 1. But those are the only 2 that I have really in the rankings in terms of. But if I guess also too, when you compare the side by side list, Jon has more name value on his resume than GSP does.
Yeah.
You can split it any way you want. Like I said, GSP came back and fought the champion. He didn't come back and fight the number 2 guy. So, and that's no fault of Jon's.
I was gonna say,
that's no fault
all
of
you can do
Jon's.
is fight the person that they put in front of you and the best one that they can.
Yep. But Jon also made it look easy. Whereas GSP went the distance with, and he kind of made it look easy too against Bisping, but it was
no.
Okay.
Because look, I'm telling you, I was there. I was pretty close to it.
Were you there?
And was
Did
I there? Yeah, I was there.
Did they use you? Oh,
but in that, GSP came out pretty good, and Bisping was having problems. And then as soon as Bisping figured out the distance, GSP started having problems, and he was getting lit up towards the end. And he went to his corner. I'm telling you right now, Freddie Roach is the one that told him, I need left hook. He says he opened for the left hook, and he caught him with it on that, and then got the choke. But the tables were starting to turn. Bisping was coming on, and GSP was starting to have some problems. So, it was a beautiful win, taking nothing away from him, and he's doing it against a guy that we know is a tough dude.
yeah.
But I just look at it and say, as much as I love GSP and stuff, Jon gets it.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess. Look, they're both kind of in the same boat for me. I don't know. I don't know. Like, Jon, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know.
You can't put one foot in one boat and one foot in another boat.
Fucking watch me.
That's
watch
called
me
skiing.
Watch me do it, buddy. No, I'm at the point where I don't even know. That's the thing. Like, I'm at the point where I don't even know. But if I'm gonna if I've always leaned GSP's way on this.
Yeah.
Jon did something spectacular last night. It was a great job by him. I don't know. I don't know. And I guess I'm in this discussion now because this GOAT talk, do we care? Because you do know, right? In like 10 years, or right when Jon's ready to retire, there's going to be a young kid who has all Jon's abilities.
Jon better retire before 10 years, trust me.
Yeah, but you never know.
Yeah.
Randy Couture fought till he was what, 47, 48?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but Randy was a very one-dimensional fighter.
Yeah, he was.
Jon is not.
Yeah, but if there's one thing Randy has a very good reminder of, as far as probably should have done this a little bit sooner, is those fake teeth in the front, because someone kicked his teeth out, okay? And that's what happens when you keep fighting until you're older. You're giving someone the opportunity to possibly do that to you. And I hope Jon doesn't do that.
I think if he stays in the heavyweight division, he could probably go another 10 years.
Oh, God. I don't think so. He'd be 45.
Yeah, and
holy shit.
Glover's 44.
40? No. It's 43 now.
I thought he was 44.
I don't know.
I think he's 44. Pull up Glover to share his.
It's 43.
43. When's his birthday?
October 28th.
October 28th.
Not even close.
He's halfway there, Jon.
Not even close.
He's actually halfway there, Jon. Yeah, I look at that. You can put him anywhere you want, 1 and 2, 2 and 1, whatever it is. But I think he could. I think he could make a good run at heavyweight for a while. I think outside of Curtis Blitz. Stipe is dangerous because Stipe just has so much experience, and so does Jon. Stipe's got a lot of experience, but 40 years old, but it makes for a fun fight. There's a storyline there, Stipe being considered to be the heavyweight kind of like GOAT, or the guy in the heavyweight division. But I've always felt the same way, and I've said this repeatedly: the 125, the 185, and on up are the weakest weight classes. Now, name value, because they've not weak, but they're not as good as. I'm sorry, but they're not as good as 35, 45, 55.
Here's what I'll give you.
Yes.
They do not have the depth of talent.
Yeah, that's true.
The 35s, 45s, 55s, and 70s. You're right. They don't have that depth of talent, because that's why the bigger guys play other sports at times too. Because when you're the 135-pound fighter, what other professional sports can you do at your size? It's not easy.
Not ones that pay.
Well,
you have to take money into consideration here, big time.
I mean, you can be a tennis player, but you're not going to be a football player at 135.
I don't know any tennis players that are 135, John.
Either do I.
None.
But you could play, I guess. But again, there's certain reasons why the lighter weights in fighters sometimes are the more exciting, because they have the more depth of talent based upon those guys don't have the options of doing other things. They can do it at a certain level.
You know how big tennis players are? They're fucking huge. They're huge. Djokovic is like 6'4" or some shit like that. And Pete Sampras was big too. Like, these guys are enormous. Remember Michael Chan? He was the smallest guy. I think he was like 5'9". Like, these guys are big. Tennis players. They wouldn't even be able to return. A 135-pound tennis player would get killed by the ball. Like, wouldn't even be able to return these guys' as serve. These guys are serving at 140 miles an hour. Jesus.
But you have to go into sports that really there's no. Maybe soccer. You look at Messi.
Yeah, they're not big.
He can get it done. He's not big, but he's fantastic. But I mean, just look, size makes a difference in most sports. Baseball, power. Hitting the ball at the park. Take a look at the baseball players. Take a look at fucking Judge. My God.
6'8". Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, but guys like Shane Victorino are not big guys.
No, but he doesn't jack the ball out of the park either.
Grand Slam during the World Series, baby. Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
I'm not saying he hasn't. I like Shane, but it's a matter of you take a look. Especially like when Canseco and McGuire and Sosa and all them, and then dude, they were big.
Steroids, John.
Yeah, I know that.
But they were big. Body frame wise, they were big.
Everyone that I said.
Yeah.
I didn't even include Bonds.
All right. Before we move on to the rest of the card, though, I want to thank our partnership with OnlyFans. We have been working with them in their sports division, and we are doing next level things with them over on our OnlyFans page. So make sure you guys head over there to our OnlyFans page. It is onlyfans.com/weighing-in. Look, it's free right now, and it's going to probably be free for a while. We're just going to keep it this way a long time. But we're putting up some extra video content. We're doing more content coming up for this week. Some behind the scenes, because we have Bellator this week in San Jose, my hometown. And so we're going to do a little extra footage, some extra content that's only going to be available on our OnlyFans. So make sure you guys check it out. That is onlyfans.com/weighing-in. John, let's move on to the rest of the card, buddy.
All right, let's go into the one that I got dead wrong, but I think I was in the same boat as a lot of people. Alexa
John,
Grasso.
I called it.
You
John.
lying mother son of a bitch, bastard.
It went exactly the way I said it was going to go.
You lie. But Alexa Grasso taking on Valentina Shevchenko. I really liked the way that Alexa went after the fight. She was landing good combinations at times. And the first round, I thought, she got her.
She did.
She got her in that first round. And then Valentina was taking over. She won the second. She won the third. She, was winning the fourth. And man, that was a nice take of the back and a quick. This is it's funny for a lady who never really did submissions in the beginning of her career, could not wrestle, could not submit, but she could box and got wins. It's amazing she won that title based upon a beautiful submission victory against someone that we all know is fantastic. And she looked great. Congratulations, man. I got nothing to say. It was the one fight I definitely got wrong.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it. I picked Shevchenko. I thought that Grasso would be able to stay with her, but not win the rounds. And totally wrong. She got the submission. You can't do it any better. Well,
as John would say, it went exactly the way that I thought it was going to go. No, it just it caught everyone by surprise. Fantastic performance. And when she came out in the first round, Alexa Grasso, and was having success.
She looked good.
And then I believe at the end of the first round, she got a takedown of herself. She got a takedown of her own. And I was like, okay. You're really here to fight.
Yeah. You're not letting the name or anything stand in your way. You're saying, no. I want you to see what you're up against.
Yeah,
and then Valentina kicked it up.
Yes. But I think she went back to the corner and they realized, like, hey, we're having trouble with the speed. The speed was the factor. Alexa Grasso was a lot faster than Valentina Shevchenko. She was hitting her with some good clock. If you watch,
thought she covered distance well in coming in and threw straight shots, and that made her fast. It was nice.
Well, Valentina throws straight shots.
Yeah,
she was beating her to the punch. Alexa was. So, John, if you're both leaving at the same time and they're both straight, this one's getting here first. That means this person's faster, John.
Is that what you're trying to say?
This is how I think it's physics. Okay, speed, range, distance covered. Alexa Grasso was the faster fighter.
Okay.
I hope people don't start saying that Valentina was never that good. Valentina, I hope they stop saying, she's getting older. Please don't say that. She made one mistake.
Yep.
She got caught. And Alexa Grasso came to fight. Alexa Grasso deserves all the credit. I mean, Valentina had the longest win streak, I think, in history of women's MMA until last night.
Did she?
I think that's what they were saying. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Maybe it was just that division. But that division's new. That division's new.
No, that division's not new. It's new to the UFC as far as if you want to go with that. But
that can't be true because Cyborg had a long 10 years. No,
she definitely did not have the longest win.
She had a long. She had a long career, like a long career, but she was undefeated or not undefeated, but she hadn't lost in however long many fights. Good performance though by Alexa Grasso. The wrestling.
She had an undefeated record as a flyweight.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. I couldn't hear that. I was watching it like a buddy's like. I was watching it at Dave and Buster's. That's where I watched it.
That's a buddy's?
Yeah, well, he rented like a little room area, so. But they were still loud. But Alexa Grasso looked fantastic. The wrestling, the boxing, she went out there, didn't show Valentina any respect.
No.
Just, I'm going to hit you, you're going to hit me, I'm going to wrestle you, you're going to wrestle me. She was a lot better on the ground than I gave her credit for. Not because she got the submission, but because when she got taken down.
No, she got up that one time, and I was very impressed by her getting up.
Mm-hmm. You know, she avoided potentially a lot of really shitty situations.
Oh, you got a problem? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You can't handle it.
Oh, man.
You can't handle it.
The things we do for our fans.
You can't handle the truth, Josh Thompson.
Yes. But overall, like, I look at her and I'm like, the sky's the limit for you. I mean, can you pull up the flyweight division females? She's going to get an automatic rematch.
I know, and that's, she deserves it. I'm not going to sit there and say, how can you say that Valentina does not deserve an automatic rematch? But you take a look and you go, it's a good shakeup.
Yeah.
It's a good shakeup. And this is the same thing that happened with Amanda and Juliana. And I look and I go,
yeah,
she deserves it. I'm not saying she doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's a good shakeup. And don't you kind of look and say, maybe we should just put it off for one?
Yeah.
And see what happens. I don't know. It's that, God, so dominant, just like Amanda, so dominant that you look and say, yeah, she has to get the rematch. But I can see where you go, it'd be good for the division if she didn't.
Yeah, if you had Shevchenko fight Santos again, and then you had
or Blanchfield.
That's true. But everyone's saying Blanchfield's next.
So I think she might be.
Wow. Blanchfield's young.
But if you want to say what's a good fight, Ngannou Farrow against Alexa, 2 strikers, it would be a fun fight to watch.
Santos can strike too. I would like to see her and Valentina. That's a fight that should have ran back because that was a fun fight. They were getting after each other. It was a good fight.
Yeah, but see, that's the one I go, yeah, you don't have to do an automatic rematch.
That's true.
Sorry.
All right. Go ahead, John. Is the hype real?
Yeah. Come on. We knew that Rachmaninoff was good.
Did we?
Come on.
Did we?
Please.
Are you sold on? Are you sold on it too? Are you sold on him after this performance?
I am sold on him. I was sold on him before, and it was going into this. I was like, Jeff Neal has really got good hands, and he's really fighting well now. And he has, as long as he has the ability to keep this standing, he's got a good chance at beating him. Then he came in overweight, and I was like, something's up. That's a guy that's never missed weight. Why are you missing weight? And it kind of turned. I said, I think that Rakhmonov is going to end up getting him because I see Neal getting tired now. And it really wasn't the wrestling, man, because Jeff Neal did a fantastic job of staying on his feet. There was a couple times where you looked and you said, oh, he's going to get him. Nope. Mm-hmm. And we know that Rakhmonov has got good wrestling. He's got good stand-up. The dude's got a chin, man, because he took some big shots from Jeff and just returned fire on him and stuff. But I think you have in this guy, boy, at 170, he's got to be put into the mix of he's trouble. He's trouble for a lot of people because he does have a lot. He's got length. He can wrestle. He can stand up and fight, and he can barroom choke you at the end.
Yeah, the buzz around Killcliff is that he's the real deal. He can do it all. He can stuff takedowns. He can grapple. He can kickbox. He's long. He can utilize his boxing and to set up his kicks, and his kicks to set up his boxing. He can wrestle off of his striking. Those are all things that make you a well-rounded fighter. Because the 70-pound division is more stacked than the 85, 205, and heavyweight. That's just how it goes.
Jump off, dude. Just jump off the bar. He's fantastic. And when you said like, oh, I was sold on him, I wasn't sold on him up until this moment. This fight convinced me. Yeah. No, I always thought he was good. I just was like, bro, he gets hit kind of a lot. He does,
and he's okay with it.
Yeah, he is.
That's gonna be like, he's good, but when you get up to Jeff Neal's got power, but you can only have so many of those fights where you take shots like he took last night.
That's true.
And be able to still walk through them. And so I look at him like, will he have a long career? He's tough, man. He's got a chin on him. He's got a beard on him. He's got all the attributes in terms of being a very well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's exciting as all hell to watch fight.
That was a hell of a fight.
I think honestly, name value wise, but fight, he had the best fight of the night. Him and Jeff Neal put on a fantastic fight.
Yeah.
Outside of the shock and awe of Alexa Grasso, the next best fight after the Rakhmonov fight was if you go down to this young kid. Who's this young kid? Scroll down, I think fight number 3 or something. Cameron Simon or whatever his name is.
Oh, kid from South Africa.
That kid's fucking so fun.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. So I mean, outside of his fight, but there's just not as much name value there. Rakhmonov and Jeff Neal fought their asses off. Great fight. Absolutely a great fight.
It was.
So when I look at that, when I'm taking a good deep dive into Rakhmonov, can you pull up the welterweight division there, Dave, for me? Is that stylistically, he's got some fun fights ahead of him.
Oh yeah. You can take a look and you could put him, honestly, anybody in that group, you're looking, he can go with any of them. Because now that he beat Jeff Neal, Jeff was number 7. He's going to move up somewhere, at least to 8. Maybe Sean Brady goes up and Vicente Luque does, but you can't put Luque above Jeff Neal because Jeff Neal just beat him. So it doesn't make sense. But could you imagine Rakhmonov against Bilal Muhammad? Yeah,
I was thinking that or Stephen Thompson. Stephen just finds a way to keep winning. 40 years old.
Yeah.
And no matter how much I say he's slowed down, he's definitely not slowed down.
No.
I put his last fight, I put my foot in my mouth. I was like, oh no, so-and-so's going to be faster. Fuck, yes, I was wrong. I was like, Yeah, I look at, you start looking at names he's going to have to fight.
Yeah.
Rakhmonov's going to have to fight Stephen Thompson, Bilal Muhammad. I mean, who's to stop him from fighting Chimaev?
It'd be a great fight. But Chimaev should stay at 185, not 170.
Yeah. I'm confused on how he's even in his rankings here. He should be at 185 for sure.
He should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got Podcast Dave's favorite hero, Colby Covington,
Well, Dana talked about him last night. Dana said he's ready to fight. He's been ready to fight. Just we had some fights that fell off that he was supposed to. We were getting ready to sign, and then his opponent fell off. He said, "No, Kobe's been asking to fight. We're gonna get him in. We'll get him in the cage here soon. He's been training. He's ready to go. We've had those fights lined up. It just didn't work. It wasn't anything to do with him. It was the opponents. So he's been ready. So,
well, that's good.
We'll see, man. We'll see."
All right, we had Mateus Gamrot against Jalen Turner. This is one of them fights, but I look at Jalen Turner should have won this fight.
Thank you. Okay, I thought maybe I missed something because I was watching it at a bar, like it was in a restaurant, whatever it is, and I thought maybe I missed something.
Well, no, I'm not. Hold on. When I say that, I can understand why Gamrot got the win as far as the judges, but Turner was the better fighter. Yeah. Turner was the guy that he had the opportunities. He did the damage at times. Gamrot was able to take and slow things down with his wrestling and create situations. But Turner's the guy, if you're looking at it, man, he's the overall, he's got that thing that is needed in this division. He's got such tools. And I just look and it's like, yeah, Gamrot may have gotten the win, but he ain't going to get that win again. And it was a close fight. I can see both sides of, people saying, well, who won and who did not and why and what rounds. It was close. And that's even Jalen Turner's corner said, you're down 2 rounds. Okay. His corner's telling him that, which is good. They should. Oh yeah, they did. They told him you're down 2 rounds, and he came out in the third, and he was going after him. And he just needs to be a little bit more aware of his I'm just telling you, Josh, I listened to his corner, and they're telling him, throw the low kick. And it's like, don't do that. Don't throw a low kick against a guy who's catching and taking you down or looking for the takedown. It wasn't working. His hands were working against Gamrot. He was lighting him up. And when he would go into the kicks, he would get taken down. You go, why are you telling him to go back to that? Why are you not telling? If you want to do the kick, bring it up high. Hands, bring up the kick high. That normally is because he's going to be looking to defend against your hands at that point. He's not going to be in that position to shoot on you. But I just look and I say, this is a loss that, he lost, but hopefully he learns from this one, and he has the skill set to be one of the best there is in the lightweights. He's amazingly big.
Oh, Jalen Turner, absolutely, he's huge,
Christ.
And he makes the weight. When I look at this fight, though, like Jalen, when you say don't kick, I say kick calf level or lower, like that ankle, inside ankle, like so that it's harder for them to catch it. They have to reach down. Then they start thinking about the head kick, so they don't reach down. And if they do, they potentially get knocked out. All of those things, I agree. The boxing was definitely working. His ability to stuff takedowns, very impressive.
Absolutely.
His ability to get back up to his feet, extremely impressive.
Yep. But
with Gamrot, you said that he may not be able to get the win again. I think he would, only because he'd have a full camp. This time he only had 10 days.
That's true. That's true.
So the preparation for it, the fatigue. I mean, I was surprised that he had the gas to keep wrestling like he did in the third round. And so that surprised me.
This is one of those fights where I look and I go, when you're talking about, hey, should we take this fight? If you're Gamrot, you're looking and people are going, oh, he just likes to fight a lot. No, he's being calculated in what he's doing here. And he's saying, hey, I'm in shape and I can get a win against this guy right now to where maybe I don't have to face him later on. I can say, I've already beat him. And this is that exact situation right here.
Yeah.
And smart move by him. He thought he was going to be able to wrestle a little bit better and, then maybe not work as hard, but he got himself through it. And hey, that's a good win against a really talented guy.
Who'd you score to win the fight?
Because of the third round, I had it 29-28, and I gave it to Gamrot based upon the third round. He ended up Turner wasn't able to put enough offense out, and I was rooting for him.
Yeah. All right, next fight.
Well, we had the debut of Mr. Bo Nickel against Jamie Pickett, and there is all kinds of controversy because Jamie Pickett is now going to protest that fight based upon what he said was a low blow. And I think he's right. I think he did get a low blow, but it's not going to change anything. They're not going to change it. The referee didn't see it, and that whole thing is fight on. If they don't call it, you just got to keep fighting, and that was where Bo Nickel took him down. And from that point, I give Jamie credit. He tried to survive in the choke for a while. I give Bo a little bit of, hey, you got to figure out how to adjust that a little differently in the beginning and get your hips flat and do certain things. But he did make the adjustments to make the choke tighter. And look, he's going to be good. The guy is talented. And when you're talking about guys that at 185, Josh, guys that you look at and go, he can wrestle, he can grapple.
Yep.
He's got submissions, and on the feet, he's not bad. You know, obviously he's got a ways to go there, but he doesn't look uncomfortable. And that's a big part of the stand-up game.
Well, like I said, if you're in that 185-pound division and you can wrestle at all, there's pretty much a straight line to the title.
Well, I'll tell you, could be.
I mean, Bobby Knuckles is the only one that really has decent takedown defense and can wrestle. The rest of them are all okay. They're not great. They can't wrestle at his level. Bobby can't wrestle either, or Whitaker. He can't either, but he's gonna make it a dogfight.
Yeah, but he can't. He's not gonna. If he gets into a wrestling match with Nickel, that's one he's not gonna come out on top with.
You know, this was good for me to see Bo Nickel. He's still very. You can see the very inexperience in the grappling.
Sure.
Making the adjustments for the side choke. When he jumped to the back, he almost slid off the top. Little things that make a big difference against top level talent. So fighting Jamie Pickett, good fighter. Bo's a better wrestler, has great submissions. Worked on it, was able to get the fight to the ground exactly where he needed it to be as fast as possible.
Yep.
When I look at this, when I'm seeing Bo Nickel, he's going to need to have 3 or 4 more of these fights. Because he's gonna have to clean this up. But they're in a rush, man. They're in a rush, John. I don't know why with him.
Well, and it's like, I understand why the UFC's in a rush, but the whole point is he should not be in a rush.
Yeah.
He needs to understand, hey, enjoy the process. Take your time. Keep getting better. Keep working with the right people. You know. But
yep.
He could be something special.
I think he will be, especially in that division.
Yeah.
You know, the wrestling ability that he has as he fine tunes his jiu-jitsu and his submission game. Look for that.
You know, it'd be really interesting though. You got to figure now he's working out up at ATT up in College Station. That's where he spends his time.
Mm-hmm.
But you got another middleweight at ATT called Johnny Eblin.
Mm-hmm.
You want Bo Nickel to get better? Those guys need to train together.
I wonder. I mean, they're both gingers. You know what they say about gingers, man.
It's mean.
They're
nasty
strong.
attitude.
They're strong,
Nasty
strong,
attitude.
strong. I wrestled a couple redheads in high school.
Yeah.
Man, I can't say what they are. They're strong though. I'm not trying to get canceled. All right, next fight.
We had Cody Garbrandt coming back against Trevin Jones. You know, I looked at this fight and I thought the UFC looking at Cody was like, all right, we're going to match you up with someone that you match up very well with. And they did that, and Cody did what he was supposed to do. And a lot of people are going to sit there and, you know, talk about, well, you know, he had to go to a decision with Trevin. That was the best thing he could have done. Best thing he could have done was get minutes in and fight smart. And, you know, the whole thing is the shucking and jiving, the dancing and stuff like that. Cody Garbrandt needs to do that. Because when he's relaxed in the cage and just letting the fight happen, He's good. It's when people can draw him out of that and make him plant his feet and start winging shots that he leaves big openings and he can be taken advantage of. So the Cody that I saw last night was exactly, that was the Cody that I saw when he fought Dominic Cruz. And Dominic was trying to pull him into that plant your feet, and he didn't do it. He did the stupid breakdancing and things like that was, got people's attention. TJ was able to piss him off enough to do those things that do not work well for him. He's got good wrestling. He used wrestling at times. He shot the takedowns. The dude's still got speed, man. He is fast, Josh. His hand speed and his movement, you look at times, you go, God damn, you're fast. I mean, you're not going to find many guys faster than Cody Garbrandt. And Trevin Jones is not a slow fighter, and he looks slow compared to Cody Garbrandt. And I thought this fight was exactly what Cody needs, and he needs to stay, on course with what he's doing. Pick people apart, volume attacks. When you hurt him, then go after him, but go after him in a smart way. This was a good step forward for Cody, I thought.
Cody's the fastest white guy I think I've ever met.
He might be.
This dude,
He's fast.
His hands are just smoking.
Yeah.
I mean, he made Trevin Jones look slow.
Yeah, you get contrails off of his damn hands when he fires them out.
And so when I was watching this, I'm like, wow. Like Trevin Jones, you can tell he went out there telling himself, I'm gonna put pressure, I'm gonna pick you apart, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then he realized how fast Cody was. He's like, all right, I gotta pick and choose my shots. He's like, because this guy, he can counter me at any moment. It could be lights out. And that scared him away. His corner was pleading with him, please throw something. He's like, man, I don't want to get hit.
But he was afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, because he kept on getting tagged when he thought he was, getting, and it's like, after a while, it's like, shit, I can't, because every time I do, he hits me.
Yeah.
And I'm not hitting him.
Trevin was trying to lead the dance, but he couldn't because the speed of Cody was coming back too fast. And then on top of it, as the fight went on, he finally was like, he had to throw some caution to the win in the third round. He had a great round.
Yeah.
But in doing that wouldn't have maybe happened in the first two rounds because Cody was fresh. Cody started getting a little bit more tired in that third. Also, if you have a fighter who, like Cody Garbrandt or any other fighter, like that is used to throwing with heat and power, and now you've got to get them to stay on the outside and circle, stay away, throw one shot, two shots. That's exhausting. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, he didn't throw any punches. Yeah, but you're on your bike. Like, you're literally with pressure. This guy's walking you down. Fighting backwards is the most taxing thing on your brain, on your mind, your mentality. Like, man, why am I moving backwards? I got to just stick and move.
Your legs get tired at twice the rate.
You're getting flustered. You're like, yeah, do I throw here? Do I not? Cody's not that type of fighter. Cody's the guy that takes the center of the cage and just counters off of you, or he gets first, because he's got speed. I mean, he's not that guy to circle, stay away. And that's exhausting. That just puts you in like this, man, I'm having to run so much. You're literally out there. When they say you're on your bike, you're on your bike.
Oh, yeah.
You're out there running around in circles looking like a jackass.
Yeah, it's a track meet.
Yeah, it really is. Cody fought the fight that he needed to fight, man. I got to tip my hat to him because, look, the most important thing for him is getting back in the win column, getting the confidence back up, and learning that throwing them kicks is key. We all know you have power. We all know you have speed in your hands. He
was not using kicks at all. He was a boxer. And this?
Shit.
Dewey Cooper did a nice job with him because he really got him to understand, hey, you can open things up. You can make this easier by using those kicks at times. And he did. I was super impressed with his performance.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Next.
Duplessis Driscus against Derek Brunson is my daughter is sitting here. I got to tell you the story because she has this thing with AI. She has this thing that picked all of, I guess, the UFC fights, right? And so she was going to, bet according to the AI, right? And I'm looking at it and says, that person's not going to win, right? She goes, the AI says they're going to win, right? And look, they've been right on this. Said, okay, and one of the ones that they picked as the upset was Pickett against Bo Nickel. And she was going to put this big bet on that. And I go, you're going to lose your money. I said, that is not going to happen. He is not going to beat Bo Nickel, right? So, But so we started going, and the AI was saying things, right? And she gets to Derek Brunson and Duplessis, and the AI had picked Derek Brunson to win. I said, Derek Brunson could win the fight if it's in the first round. I said, if the fight gets out of the first round, I'm telling you Duplessis is going to win it. I said, Derek just burns out. He just gets tired, and it's just not, and he's getting older, right? And she says, you got to pick one. I said, then I picked Duplessis. I said, he's on a roll right now. I said, and as much as I like Derek, Derek's getting older.
Yep.
Right. And I watched this and I was like, boy, it happened just that way. Because Derek looked good in the first round.
He normally does.
I know. And, and as soon as he smiled when he got hit, I was like, oh, that's bad. Because he's done it before and you know that he's exhausted. And I was just like, I feel bad for him. I really do, because it's a horrible position to be when you're exhausted and having to fight. But you got to give it up for the Dricus Duplessis. He looks good. He's tough. He looks tired all the time too. Yeah. But he keeps fighting, man. And he keeps it going. His win against Till, he looked good. This one, he looked good. And I want to give credit to Derek Brunson's corner. Thank you for throwing the towel.
Yeah.
The fight should have been stopped.
Yeah, he was exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're that tired, like when those last two shots at the end of the round,
he almost like
he was just laying there. He was just like, okay, go ahead, hit me. Or he was rock still from something, but he was so exhausted. I mean, I hate to see fighters that way, because fuck, I've been like that in sparring in the fucking in the cage or the ring. Ugh. And you got gear on, like headgear and heavy gloves, and you're just like, fuck my life. Get me out of here right now. Like, I don't think
the best is you got a lot of times you're doing it with 16-ounce boxing gloves, right? And people, if they go 16 ounce, that's nothing. No, they're full of sweat. They're wet. They're like 5 pounds apiece. Your arms are just lead. Yeah. And
you can't get deep breath, and like you're just, it's horrible. So when I saw him land on the ground afterwards, I'm like, I feel for you, brother. Yeah. I feel for you. Next.
Amanda Ribas against Viviana Araujo. I heard it 2 ways, so I'll say it 2 ways. Amanda Ribas looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Viviana. Yeah. Amanda looked fantastic. This was one of the AIs that picked Viviana to win. I said, I think Ribas is going to get the win here. And I was really surprised at how she got the win in the fact that her jab and her stand-up, she looked really good against someone that I thought, on the ground, I thought Ribas was better. And I thought in the stand-up, probably Viviana a little bit stronger. But that muscle, man, she got it. Her arms got heavy. And Amanda just kept coming. It was a beautiful win for Ribas.
Yeah, Ribas was having some problems with the power in the beginning. And then Viviana just wasn't able to keep that pace.
Yeah, she went for the guillotine, if you remember.
Yeah, that's true.
She jumped that, and it was like, I don't know if that was the right move, but we'll see.
But then Ribas came out in the second round. I think he was able to drop her quick in the second round, and that kind of changed the tide on the fight. Viviana was just stuck on bottom, just basically trying to not survive, but was carrying the weight of someone else, and that's not where you want to be. That makes you tired. The person's striking you, you're getting hit, plus you're carrying all their weight, you're trying to get your ass back up. It was just downhill from there. But Ribas, I think she settled in that second round, was able to get the round back. Now she knew all she had to do was win the third. And she did a great job. Good job by her.
Great job.
Next.
Marc-Andre Barriault against Julian Marquez. The Cuban Missile Crisis came out, and he came out firing. But it's the one thing that you've seen in the past that, you firing big shots like that, you get tired. And you could see, especially when it got into that second round, man, he was taking some big shots. The elbows really turned the corner on this fight. And Marc-Andre just started opening up on him. And I give Marquez nothing but credit, man. You're tough as hell, and you took a lot of shots. That fight should have ended sooner.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, and it's so frustrating, Josh. And this is the part that drives me nuts. And people sometimes don't get it. Sometimes officials don't get it. But you try to tell people, look, when you have a professional fighter, somebody that has been trained to take a blow, has been trained to do these things while they're getting hit to stop the ability for someone to continue to do that. And when you have that professional fighter in the middle of a fight turn away from their opponent in a fashion that is similar to a child on a schoolyard playground getting beat up because they don't know what to do to stop what's occurring. So their only, function is to turn away and try to hide. The fight's over. Well, Julian Marquez got to that point.
Several times.
He was overwhelmed. What's that?
Several times.
Yeah. And when that happens, damn it, stop the damn fight. They have shown that they have been overwhelmed. They don't know what to do, and they're nothing but a punching bag now. Get them out of the fight.
Yeah.
That one should have stopped sooner.
Oh, I agree. Thank goodness. Next fight, Ian Gary versus Kenan Song.
Good fight. Man, Ian Gary looks good. He looks good, man. He came out and he was firing, but when Song hit him with that shot that put him down, it was like, oh, there's an attention getter. Yeah. He was in trouble.
Yeah.
But he came back. He got himself together. Man, he put on a beautiful performance there and gets the win. The TKO at the end was fantastic as far as this is a guy that you could really look at. He's going places.
Yeah.
He's tall, long, lanky, if you want to talk about that. He uses the range very well. I look forward to seeing the guy fight in the future.
Yeah, he looks good and clean right now. The level of competition is going to step up here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks good and clean right now. In the welterweight division, can you pull that up so we can take a look in the 15, 14, 13 range? Scroll all the way down there. Yeah, you have Jack, maybe,
that's the guy you don't want to fight right now.
Maybe him and Neil Magny would be a good fight. Maybe one more first, then maybe Neil Magny.
Yeah. Like you said, give him time.
Give him some time.
He's young.
He's young, what, 20? How old is he?
He's young. Dave, how old is he?
I thought I heard them say 23.
Pull up Ian
Gary.
Ian Machado Gary. That's what
25.
The future. 25.
Good-looking kid, too. Good-looking kid. Good for him.
He's got a lot of talent, man.
Marketability is key.
Yeah. Well, your guy Cameron Simon.
I was impressed, man. Outside of the growing shots and the eye poke, the kid, like I heard DC say, this kid can't catch a break, man.
Dude, Martinez, I felt bad for him, man.
But Cameron Simon, I thought he has all the abilities. He's fantastic on the feet. Got good takedown defense. I mean, he's very well rounded. He's calm. Yeah. He's got to figure out the boxing situation because he leaves himself out of position quite a bit. But what I mean by that is he he covers the distance and he gets inside, but then he stops in that little spot, which it could be good because if you pull back too fast, you can get left hooked or your head face off. He needs to figure that out. There's a little stall or hesitation in there that could get him in some trouble. But outside of that, his kicks and his way he puts it all together, he's fantastic, man. The kid's 22 years old, John.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. That's what we have coming up, man. It's crazy.
I'm excited.
Take a look at these guys. Mm-hmm. That was a nice win. Tabitha Ricci against Jessica Pena. Beautiful armbar.
Jeez.
And Jessica's someone that can grapple. She's got good submissions. She always did. So that was a big win. Basharat, that kid's going to be, he's just good.
Yeah.
Could he have gotten rid of Damon? Possibly, but just put on a beautiful performance.
All right. Well, hey, that's going to cover our UFC talk. But, John, before we go, though, one last thing.
Before we go, let's go.
Rate the card.
I think I said it was a 9 going in as far as the card.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it performed at a 9.
Yeah. Dave, can you go back to the card?
I enjoyed it.
You can zoom it out a little bit too. Like when you look at this, because I have my glasses on today. when I'm judging this, when I'm like kind of giving this a rating, it had everything that you want.
Yep.
Yeah, the young up and coming kid and Simon and Tabitha Ricci, like they fought their asses off. They had great performances. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for fights that stood out. I'm looking for fights that delivered, even though it wasn't supposed to deliver. Like I'm looking for all these different types of things when we're doing ratings for this fight. Not just like, oh yeah, that guy won. It was a great fight. No, the Rachmanov fight, knockdown, drag out,
great fight. One
or two little exchanges could have changed that fight to go Jeff Neal's ways.
Sure.
Like had he hit him with something,
there was a couple times he had him
hurt. He had him hurt. And, it just Rachmanov is a dog and dug deep. It has the upset, Alexa Grasso. It has the huge name in Jon Jones coming out and doing something that's never been done before. Bo Nickel, the young talent, doing what he's supposed to do. Great performance. This fight delivered. I mean, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Oh, going 9.5.
Yeah, I got to go higher than you every once in a while.
I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was a great card, man. I thought everything was good. There was some lulls in there. I mean, from what I understand, that they were doing some stuff for the Roadhouse.
Yeah,
so they had commercials a little bit longer than normal.
That sucked.
That's fine though,
because I don't give a shit about Roadhouse.
I get it, but
I was sitting there going, "What's it?" And everyone's like, they got Jake Gyllenhaal fighting. Yeah. I go, "Oh, Jay," and I saw the way, and I go, "Oh, Jay Heron's gonna lose."
Poor Jay, man. Jay's getting abused over there.
That's it.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. So let's go ahead and roll into some news. What do you got for us, Dave?
Yeah, couple good items here. I want to get your reaction to Dana White closing the door on an Ngannou return ever. Dana White is quoted saying, you never say never, but this is a never scenario. And he goes on to talk about how he tried for years to negotiate with Ngannou, and it's obviously left a bad taste in his mouth. He's not going to have Ngannou back. So Ngannou is open to it, but Dana White has closed the door on it.
Well, we all know Dana's had some bad taste and shit in his mouth before. So,
like this comes down when you say there's no possibility. I believe Dana is right, because Ngannou wants certain things that are more important to him than money, and the UFC's not willing to give those things. So I think Dana's right. I think this is one that's not going to happen unless Ngannou decides, okay, I don't need I don't care about the sponsorship. I don't care about the fighters having representation. These are the things that he's caring about. These are the things that he's saying, this is more important to me than how much money I make. And those are things that the UFC's not going to give him. So why, when you look and you go, he cannot negotiate with him, because I already know going in, you want things that I'm not going to give you.
I wouldn't say that's the only reason. Francis is what, 37?
Yeah, somewhere around. Not 30, 35, 36, I think.
Jon Jones is my champ now.
And that's, look at, these things make a difference in this world. 36, that's
Yeah.
They make a difference.
It does.
And when you have all of a sudden Jon coming back and now fighting, and especially fighting well, it's easy to sit there and go, now he said this before the fight, so I'm not saying Dana's saying it because Jon won, but it's easy to look and say, yeah, I can't negotiate with him, and I'm not going to try anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, would I love to see Francis back there? I'd like to see Francis fighting the best because he's great to watch. There was the little bit of a discourse between Francis tweeting something out, nice victory to Jon Jones, and but something about still the heavyweight king or something like that, and Jon saying, "You're a big pussy."
Oh wow.
You're a super muscular guy with a pussy or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, you didn't have to go there, dude. There is the Jekyll and Hyde of Jon Jones.
Well, I think what Francis said at the end of his tweet, though, Dave, you want to pull that up? It said something like he called him boy or son or
no.
Yes,
I think he said something about he called himself the heavyweight king or something.
No, he said something about baby boy.
Really?
Yeah. And the end of the tweet, I think it said baby boy.
I didn't see one that said boy.
Still the undefeated king, baby boy, or something like that. My baby boy. Like he said something like that.
Okay.
I believe.
I don't know.
Dave.
I think Josh Thompson's
Dave with the slowest internet in the world
on this one.
Good job, Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy.
Heavyweight King.
Good job.
What's
Johnny.
wrong with Johnny Boy?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
I
it.
get called Johnny Boy all the time. I have a friend in Jack
because
Reese
you act like a 12-year-old.
Constantly calls me Johnny Boy.
Because you act like a 12-year-old.
Well, it's okay. It's fun.
All right. Well, I mean, let me see Jon Jones's thing.
Yeah. Why don't you see? No, Jon Jones's was
It was
not
tweet or Instagram, or was it an
no,
interview?
it was talk.
Here,
it's
I've
talk.
got it. I've got it over here.
Got it.
Right here. I got the quote right here. Francis is a big old pussy.
Wow. Big old pussy. Interesting. Whoo. I mean, that's the fight to make, but they're not gonna get. Look, I don't understand why he even asked for sponsors. Like, what are you doing? Like, I get it. If you want the sponsors, come to Bellator. But like, why? Like, why even? You know they're not. It's a hard line. They've drawn a hard line with every other champion they've ever had. You're 35, 36. They don't care. Like, John's their champ now too. So like, they really don't 35. Care. Yeah, no, but John's abilities. John could fight, like I said, till he's 45 in the heavyweight division. He's got all the attributes that these other heavyweights don't have. So he could be there for a while. 35.
I don't know. Stipe tried to wrestle Ngannou. That didn't work the second time.
That's true. But here's the thing. Remember when we said before Francis left? We said, you better have that boxing contract about to be signed. Like, when I get done, when I walk out of this room, it's signed. It wasn't signed.
I know.
So what are you doing?
You'd have to ask not Francis that. I think you have to ask Francis's management that. Like,
that contract should have been a done deal before you left the UFC.
You would think.
Yeah. And I'm not, and I'm going to go back to Dana. I'm not taking Dana's word for shit. If Francis came back and said, hey, you know what? I can go ahead and budge on the sponsors. You know, what else did he want?
Fighter representation.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen either. So
no shit, it ain't.
Those two things ain't happening.
Yeah.
But what was it? There was another one. There was another thing.
No, that was
anyways
it.
Yeah, that shit ain't happening. But I mean, I'm sure they'll give him $3-4 million. I think they would, especially now that John won. That's a fight to make. I think they would. Dana says never, but
it has passed. It has passed.
Dana's lying. Dana he'll sell it all for to make more money. Like that's who he is. He's like, whatever. All right, next.
All right, let's wrap up on this one. Some big BKFC fight announcements. Want to get your reaction to these?
Boy, I tell you what, take a look at this, and we've got Mike Perry, UFC against Rockhold, UFC, Strikeforce. We got Chad Mendes, UFC against Eddie Alvarez, Bellator, UFC. Got a lot of UFC
Eddie's been
MMA
everywhere.
Guys in here. What's that?
Eddie's been everywhere.
Eddie,
Bodog, Elite XC.
Eddie goes where the money flows.
Is. When we had talked to Eddie, I actually talked to Eddie over the phone, and he was telling me about the BKFC right when he left one. He goes, hey, he's like, you know, BKFC offered me a lot of money, more than I was making over at one. I'm like, he's like, but you know, if you're a stripper, he's like, it's one thing if you just do bikini stripping. He's like, I feel like if I go to BKFC, I'd be going full nude. Well, here you are, my man. Here. The money got you. That's the biggest thing. The money got you.
The money got you.
I mean, look, this is gonna be fun. I mean, Luke is not known for. He's got good boxing. It's not great. He's talented. Mike Perry's not a big guy.
Nope.
Luke is enormous. I wonder what weight they're fighting at. Are they fighting at 85? Is Luke going to make 85? Well, they can't be fighting
at 70 because Luke can't make that.
Way.
So it's got to be 85.
You know, and then Chad Mendes has fought his whole career at 45.
Yep.
Eddie's fought his whole career at 70. Oh, no, not whole career, but 70 and 55. He fought 55. He fought at 70, though, at Bodog.
Did in Bodog, but that was a long time
ago. So I like what they're doing. This, and you have this fight, you have this card, and then you've got George Masvidal's card. Was stacked. I mean, stacked. You
Game
know,
Red Boxing.
Yep, Game Red Boxing should have some good fights, man. So they're making these type of fights are making a name for themselves. You know,
They're putting the money out.
They are.
You know, if you want to build your brand, if you want to try to grow, you got to do it off of names. Well, Mike Perry, as we have said before, I think we both agree. I think, you know, you look at certain things, and there's difference between boxing and MMA and bare knuckle boxing. And Mike Perry was never going to be a champion in MMA. He just didn't have the full skill set to do it. I think Mike Perry is perfect for bare knuckle boxing.
Yep.
He's got the right attitude. He's got the right personality. He's got the right style. He's a guy that gets in there and just throws heat. He's perfect for it. I think Chad Mendes has got a very good chance of being outstanding at bare knuckle boxing because he does have good power. He's got fast hands, and he can grapple, and that's part of bare knuckle boxing is the clinch and the dirty boxing. So both of those guys, I look at them, bare knuckle boxing, they're made for. Luke, I'm not too sure that he's made for it. Eddie, I'm not too sure he's made for it. But they're both great fighters, and I'm going to enjoy watching them go against two guys that I think are made for it.
Ben Rothwell's on this card too.
Ooh,
He's a
Ben.
big guy, man. Big Ben.
Yeah, and Ben can take a shot, and Ben will just keep walking forward.
Yep.
And Ben's downfall in MMA, if it was going to be one, was usually against grappling. You know, he got the submission win against, you know, Josh Barnett, which was great and stuff. But, you know, guys getting into his legs, taking him down, taking him out of his skill set. Well, they can't do that here. So, you know, you got to figure. I think now Alan Belcher is the heavyweight champion of bare knuckle boxing, and Belcher looks good right now.
Yeah.
But Belcher against Big Ben, that would be fun. I would pay for that one. I'll watch
A little
that.
bit of a size difference.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Belcher's big now.
Yeah, easy.
He's not as tall as Ben,
No,
but man, he's big.
Damn. Then you know what other fight I'd like to see in bare knuckle boxing is Brandon Gertz versus Derek Campos.
Oh, dude, tell me about it.
Let me see that in a bare knuckle boxing fight. They had 3 fights, and all 3 of their fights were fucking fantastic.
Yep.
I'd love to see that fight in bare knuckle boxing. Let me ask you a question there. We talked about this a little bit last week. How much is enough money to get you to, if you were thinking about retiring or unretiring, how much money is enough?
To fight in bare knuckle boxing?
Yeah. Because like Eddie said, this is like full nude. I'm taking my clothes off, baby.
Why is it full nude? It's just a different form of an art.
So what's like, let's just say hypothetically, someone was to be offered, like, you know, someone that they fought previously and they beat. And what would be your number?
Well, it depends on who that someone was. That's, you know, really the big thing. It's like if you...
Hypothetically, John.
Okay, we'll say, what's a fight that people would want to see? So you could say you against Gilbert Melendez because you guys fought 3 times. All right. You could say you against Nate Diaz.
Who's a free agent right now.
That's right. That's why I'm saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So Nate Diaz, that brings a lot more eyeballs and money than Gilbert. So in that equation, I don't know what Nate would make, but I know what I would ask for if I was you, because you're the second part of that equation. They have to have you because you beat Nate. And I'm sure Nate would want to be able to have that fight. I think that he would, if offered that fight, he would go, yes, because he's going to look at it as you were someone that had a lot of elements, used a lot of kicks. And what hurt him in that fight? A kick.
Yeah.
Can't do that in this. So, this is my world. And so if I was you, I'm going to ask for a lot of money. A lot of money.
Well, Nate's vacant right now. He's vacant. He's free. He doesn't have a contract with anyone. He's available to fight.
Are you free? You said you're never fighting again.
I know.
You go,
I
I'm
know.
not doing that. Oh, that's ugly.
I just
look at what money will do to you.
I'm just thinking
It's
like
corruptible.
No, I want to know what makes a fighter go from MMA, which, to bare knuckle boxing. And I know it's the money, but certain fighters like Mike Perry, this is what they're made for. They're tailor made for this. There's some fighters are just really good at this type of fighting. I look at what would be the number? Like, give me a number. What do you think? Like, if I was to say, like,
here's what I would do. I'll be your manager. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you don't need Zinkin. Goodbye. See out of here. Bob Cook, he's already at Killcliff. You don't want him. So I'm going to be your manager. Okay. And so with this, we're going to start. I want $2 million.
We're going to start at $2 million. We're not going to start at 4.
Oh, possibly. Damn, I thought I was doing good with my $2 million.
Man, you're fired. You're fired already. You're already fired. Wow.
Okay, if I got you $2 million, am I still fired?
No. Because is that before or after taxes?
Yeah. If you're going to get $4 million.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think in terms of what is on the paper. I think in terms of what actually goes in my account. Yeah. So when I negotiated all my deals with Bob and whether it was UFC, Bellator, Strikeforce, whatever it was how much am I actually going to walk away with?
How much do I actually have in my pocket?
That's what I did. Like, because then then you just knew what you had to budget for moving forward. So, I just was saying, like, hypothetically, like, if there was a guy who's a free agent that's out there that's willing to fight.
Well, there is that guy.
And what would you do? And what would be the number? I just want to get people's opinion. What would be the number? You guys at home, fan engagement. Let's go in the comments below. Or go to our onlyfans.com/weighing-in page. Go there, leave out your comments there. Put your comments down there. Like, what would be your number if I was to fight either Gilbert or Nate or whatever in bare knuckle boxing?
And which one would you rather have?
Honestly, what about both of them?
Oh, listen to you now. Now all of a sudden it's going to be 2.
I'm saying. I honestly think if you're gonna do, like, it would have to be Nate first, because if you accidentally lost the Gil fight, then
accidentally lost it.
You never know.
Yeah. Like, Gil has nothing to do with that?
No, just
okay.
Judges these days.
Just an accident. Yeah.
The judging criteria is all fucked up these days. So, I mean, it would be Nate. It would be probably Nate first, and then it'd be fucking Gil after that. But regardless, I mean, how much? Like, what would be the number? That's the thing. What would be the number?
I'm being honest when I say you'll make more with Nate.
Yeah, I think that's without a doubt. What do you think the number should be there, Dave?
Well, I like John's. John's number seems like it's reasonable. And then, but then if you beat Nate, does the number go up against Gil?
Yeah, absolutely, in a rematch. No, you would just fight Nate in a rematch.
Oh,
yeah.
And then do you fight Gil if you?
I mean, here's the thing.
Look at Josh is already getting a rematch.
No, I mean,
Josh is doing 3 fights in BKFC, 2 against Nate, 2 against Nate, 1 against Gil.
He talks to Eddie, and Eddie talks, I'm going full nude.
Yep.
And here comes Josh Thompson. Ba-bing, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm
Josh
here.
is like,
let me just
I'm already on. Josh is like, I'm already on OnlyFans. I might as well.
I might as well just do the whole diddle.
Yeah, might as well. Fuck it. No, I'm throwing it out there because I'd like to hear what people's. Yeah, see if people would be, if it's even interests people. That's one thing too. Is it'd be fun. I don't know. I feel like it's the full.
Oh, now
thing.
It's fun. All of a sudden, you have been down to the cage with me. How many times? And you're going, oh,
it's horrible hearing those guys get hit. It's horrible. It's worse when you hear them get kicked, and when I see them tired from having to try to get takedowns, they're exhausted wrestling. I'm like, yeah, I don't see. You don't have to do that in bare knuckle. You can clinch. There's no grabbing you in double legs and takedowns and there's none of that shit. That's a lot of work. Look, you know how privileged it is. How privileged boxers are. They only have to work one technique. Like MMA guys, you got to work it all. So
Josh,
yes,
do the BKFC, man. Do it.
Oh, look at podcast Dave's already pushing.
It's worth it, man.
Dave's going to be in your corner.
Put a little spark back in your life, man. Come on.
I got to deal with you every day. I don't have very many sparks left. Got to conserve these things.
No sparks allowed.
Hey, guys, want to thank you guys so much for joining us on this podcast. We're having a little bit of fun here and stuff. So go to onlyfans.com/weighing in. Make sure you guys subscribe there. Look, there's no fees. There's no cost to it all. We're just dropping some extra content there. Coming up this week, Bellator is in San Jose, so we're going to have some behind the scenes with John and I. We're going to be talking to some fighters that are going to be around. And the last time we were in LA, we were able to talk to Dustin, Mark Coleman, Dan Henderson, and we had a list of fighters that we were able to talk with and chat with. And those interviews are actually in our Clips channel on our YouTube channel. So go there and check those out. They're on the main channel? Okay, so they're on the main channel. All right, so check those out if you didn't get it. Yeah, we had Uriah as well. Sorry, I forgot about Uriah. Yeah, we had a chance to interview them, talk with them, catch up with them, and do all the things behind the scenes. So we plan on doing some more of that coming up this week with Bellator in San Jose. So I'm looking forward to that. There's going to be some fun times.
Yes, sir.
And go to our onlyfans.com/weighing in. John, take us away, bud.
Hope everyone enjoyed the UFC as much as we did. There were some great fights. And so just look at it like every show should be that way, because that's the way we want it. So for everyone out there, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you.